The method to my madness that you law enforcement people don't seem to fucking understand and or appreciate is because I don't have a badge. Me talking about it doesn't corrupt any part of the investigation. Duh. People like me talking about it and other victims coming forward to help with the investigation versus issuing dumbass paperwork and obstruction. I don't do that to offend, those people religiously. It's to offend the fucking Americans. David Goldman and Goliath. With Rita and her goddamn sacral adjustments that leaves your third eye and your head feeling like it's going to explode. And those funny little things are how I learned to survive. David Goldman and Goliath, the one-eyed big old monster, come in to try to take away everybody's belief systems. By all means, tell Brian and Shauna to stop with their kids. We'll all have a Bible quiz study via my channel. Has Ryman found him a partner yet? Partner. Oh, I keep tabs on all my family. Somebody has to keep an eye out for all the goons. Well, I'd be up here week after week in Cincinnati. None of the Mason County people ever even thought to ask, what do you do up there all the time? Well, my aunt's sick and she was forced to move up here. Not with a gun force, but Mom, you need to get rid of this. It's too big, come to Cincinnati. No, you need to sell this shit, pay off all your goddamn stuff, and come home where we have money. Tell them to get over their Bible-beating bullshit. At least get the internet. You don't need TV, though you do need it. And work from home. Hell, living with them, everything paid for, you wouldn't need to make as much money. Well, I didn't think of it like that then. Because you all thought I was a fucking drug addict who couldn't think of a goddamn positive thing to save my life. This is not the conversation as we had it. I had it much calmer with her. Especially with how things are now, I'm like, you know what? I didn't bring it up because I knew it would be upsetting because losing her was upsetting for both of us. But I wish back then you had listened to me and moved home. But no. So I was the one there, after he died, taking her to chemo, living with that hell. No help from any of our other family members. Her and Bill, were at each other's throat nonstop. That's just how they were. And her missing him after losing him, and me losing him, and Nanette losing him. And having to pack that whole goddamn house up by myself. And help try to sell off what she didn't have space for here. Only for Nanette to bitch at me the morning of the move. You weren't here at 7 a.m. like I told you to be. Forgive me, I was here till after midnight. Finished packing. You're sorry ass can fucking help. I don't mean any offense to my cousin who is doing me a favor helping me, but for fuck's sake. That's called narcissism. but you all point that out in me. Forgive me that my physical disability that pisses me off to no goddamn end, and then it's somehow more burdensome to you than it is me, upsets me. How in the hell my fucking physical health can be more of a burden to them than it is me, I'll never fucking know. Just like one of her co-workers died unexpectedly. You know, God, Jackie died. And I thought, I'm sorry. It's one of the ones she actually liked. I don't know what to tell you. It just happens. But then 5 minutes later, she was bitching about something I was doing or getting ready to do or... Notice I always do that to my left side. The female side. Which is why that one photo's so perfect. I had to pull them all up again. It denotes it perfectly. People don't want to believe me because the gays and the trannies say, you're setting our movement back with your theory. It's not mental illness. It's not necessarily being transgender. It is simply my interpretation. I don't want to see that damn white Cadillac. Where in the hell is it? It is the perfect interpretation of my personality and who I am as alternative. There it is. Notice my hair on this side with the more feminine vehicle, the white light and the dark shadowy, to my masculine side and a nice big diesel truck. Oh, and to Connor Lawrence O'Neill. That one had real leather in it. It wasn't just vinyl. There's the Dawn Gentry photos. Damn it, I don't want to see that white Cadillac again. Dawn Gentry, before Dawn Gentry was who she is. This was me in my photo shoot, just being silly with one of my, upper people, friends. My chambers now. And notice the Vine package in the background, just like my engagement set. Dawn Gentry. And like I said, here's me using the women's facility to do what I was asked to do with Modesta, Connor's girlfriend, wearing my wig. This is me as a boy. There's me full on. Then there's me as, uber straight with a beautiful Catholic woman on my side. And there's another version of my female side. Double D's, honey, you best believe it, in size 4. Size 4. Those were Miranda Rosenbaum's jeans. Size 4. You better bet the straight men loved me back then, especially when I kept myself smooth. I got over that shit quick. I never did it for entertainment or to earn money. Not performing for these fools. You all have more balls than I do to get up on stage and perform and all that shit. I'd end up falling. Even though pictures of Collins. No, it wasn't this one. It must have been that Halloween. Colin was like, damn, you walk in heels better than me and Chelsea do. Lots of practice that you all don't know about. I was in Cincinnati for months at a time sometimes. What in the hell did you think I was doing up here? Locked up? Just like that one picture. Where is it? I know it's in the main thing because I just started letting them pile up instead of focusing them into folders. Maybe it was on mobile uploads and it disappeared. Oh, here's that coat in another time. That's the night that the straight man slid up behind me, wrapping his arms around me. Then he grabbed my crotch and realized that I was a dude. Oh well, he didn't get mad, and I told him, I'm like, it is cold tonight. You can stay in this coat with me if you want to. Just don't think you're getting anything. That's for damn sure. Where is that photo? I just saw it. Well, hell's fucking bells. Might help if I had my glasses on. Well, shit. Well, anyway, it's me and Colin in a brand new Lexus every time going up to Crestview Hills, the same medical facility. Colin's been there with me. Sorry to drag her family into this, but Colin's been to that place with me. The doctor's recommending cannabis with Auntie Charlotte and Ellen. Where is that photo? God. Brand new Lexus every time. The good thing about Lexus, I don't know why that's so small in that copy of it. The good thing about Lexus is anytime it's in for service, they give you a brand new one in their fleet of rentals to use until yours is ready. And they're pretty good about, well, I can't make it up there today. I'll get there tomorrow. Where is that picture? I had just seen it. Maybe it's on my phone. Anyway, Colin, we've been in northern Kentucky an awfully lot lately. Maybe it was on her Facebook. Yes, we were going up there to the doctor, one of the physicians in the network recommending cannabis in Kentucky, saying who cares if it's legal or not. They were always nice Lexuses, weren't they? That GS 350 S Sport all-wheel drive was one of the nicest four-door cars I've ever been in. Colin's Cadillac couldn't compare to it. Granted, there was one thing with that car that I didn't like versus Colin's STS. There was more headroom. It was taller, more headroom getting in and out. Whatever that is on the car, on that GS 350, was a little bit low. But it sure as hell beat that fucking RC they gave me that time. That little two-door sports car. I had the seat all the way back as far as I could with the steering wheel adjusted as far back in and up, and it still felt like I was mashed into a Fiat or something. Didn't like that car at all. I think Stacy Yates, or whatever her last name is now, bought one of them. For somebody like her, it's perfect. Lexus making all their models all-wheel drive, including the LS, smartest move they ever made. Now, if they just get onto auto drive, like I mentioned, it may sound a little bit silly to call it something so practical instead of some catchy phrase. Auto drive. Simple, understandable. Autopilot makes it sound a little too Terminator-esque. Auto drive. Probably not as advanced enough of a phrase for Toyota, no offense. Cadillac calls theirs Super Cruise. Isn't that what those military jets have? Auto drive. One of their questions. How in the hell did you think that this story wouldn't turn you into an instant internet celebrity? Because every time one of those people would come around, their statement would be, "Get that goddamn rapey camera out of my fucking face." This is different. This is how this is going to have to happen. No disrespect to the protocol and all that stupid fucking shit. This is how this is going to happen. Not for their safety. Hell, as I said, I hope Kim Razor and Stockton Wood live so fucking long they rot. Just like Sheriff Boggs and Malibu Barbie. They're staying put. I'll go into a lot more details about Mr. Ingram and his goddamn federal law enforcement buddies. Sheriff Boggs is going to have that badge for a long fucking time as his punishment, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about. He and Malibu Barbie aren't going anywhere. If they want to complain about my satire and jokes, the few and far between and the reality and the night terrors, my shit's a hell of a lot funnier than male hormones and a cocksucking, fudge-packing faggot bunch of bullshit. That cop in Missouri, that got passed over for promotions for 10 years. He's a good-looking fella. I hope he's partnered. Winning $10 million. They settled for $10 million. Deserved every penny of it. He had a good record, from what I read. You didn't see any people claiming that he raped them or used excessive force or any of this other ridiculous liability bullshit, only to get passed up for being a fag. Tone down your gayness. Yes, Your Highness. But see, he wasn't a smartass about it. He let it go and 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 let it go until it was probably eating him up alive. That's the kind of mental health we have to experience and go through. He deserved every goddamn penny he got. Just like Breonna Taylor's family. With my ex-husband in Oldham County and his goddamn grandfather being the clergy for those people, Oldham County's right next door to Jefferson County. Last time I was at the Pal's residence on Pin Oak and Crestwood. Wood. Let's go to the Pride Parade with me. At night, the Louisville Pride Parade is so family-oriented, it is odd. From what I've witnessed, men in Speedos and drag queens, and Louisville's daytime parade is very family-oriented. There were even straight people there with their kids. Very appropriate, very nice, because it's right on the river. Nighttime, it gets a little different. I'm in Louisville for their Pride Parade. We're estranged because you blindsided me, and I'm quite upset with you. But I'm in Louisville. I know I heard you're here with them again, trying to, stay out of trouble. Well, he's into too much shit in Maysville, so escape Maysville and the bad influences there, only to go to a bigger city with the bad influences there. Jim and Shirley kept him on lockdown as best as they could, I guess, but still. Anyway, go to the Pride Parade with me. It'll be something for us to do. Take your mind off of drugs. I'm not as if I was dumb enough to carry cannabis with me when I'd be traveling. All the time. I really don't feel like this shit. Let's go to the Pride Parade. It's a funny distraction. Hell, you're a straight man. It should be entertaining, funny for you. That's not me trying to bully him for whatever he went through. He has no goddamn clue what I went through. That left me more effeminate than I actually care to be, but it's reality. The devil rhymes. And that's the goddamn psych shit from religion I had to live with. No, I can't go to the Pride Parade. Mom, and Granddad wouldn't approve. Hey, but you can meet my biological father finally. Okay. I just wanted to see you and spend time with you and make sure you were okay. I may have known there'd be cannabis involved. But I sat there quietly, calmly, talking about what I could, watching television with them. Then when he said, "Oh, well, I'm about ready," "I've been ready. I'm ready when you are." So, Sophia Cropper, you're fucking welcome. I waved my wand. Your mother, Susie Pratt, telling me I'd wind up in hospital, especially helping women escape abusive relationships. Well, she was right, wasn't she? Abracadabra. So, after the Florida trip, a totally different time. But you know what? That Crestwood trip I mentioned may have been after Florida. I don't think it was. Because after Shirley told me she would condemn me to hell, even though I was a nice person and I hung up on the bitch, I cut them off. I said to hell with that. I was simply trying to reach out to see what I could find out to try to help him. What in the fuck did you all do to that poor child? I know what in the hell I went through with people like you. What in the hell did you do to that poor child? He's so goddamn insecure. He claims he'll never find another girlfriend, and I'm the next best thing, apparently, with no sex. But that is beside the point. I know that when we were in Myrtle Beach one of the times, I know this might come out of left field, but do you want to go have a beer? Yeah, I know you're trying to reach out because you're lonely and whatever, and you think that I'm too liberal and you listen to Rush Limbaugh and all this other shit. I've been ready for a goddamn fucking vodka pineapple for I don't know how long, but because I'm around your family, I choose not to drink because guess what? I can not drink. So you go ahead and order your beer. I'm having vodka. Who knows what medicine I was on at that point? It could have been morphine. It could have been Lyrica. I don't remember. He shaved his chest for that beach vacation. When he took his shirt off, I thought, really? Vanity, too, huh? I kept my shirt on. Swimming trunks and a shirt. Just like John. Not that I'm ashamed or anything, but, I've had sun poisoning I don't know how many times, and my skin was literally melting off by the time we got back from Mexico. Literally melting off. So, Colin surprisingly didn't get as burnt as I did. I literally looked like a burn victim. My skin was just coming off in blisters, just sloughing off. It was sickening. And that was from going a day and a half being too stupid to put on sunscreen. A day and a half. Then I started using sunscreen, so I didn't get more burnt. But by the time the flight home that got, diverted because of some fucking crazy ass tornadic activity, however you'd say it, between, Georgia and Kentucky. Instead of flying straight from Atlanta to Cincinnati, we had to go all the way along the coast because of that damn storm. in some little plane. It wasn't one of the big planes. No, 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 no. I have no clue why either. It was one of the smaller ones. And a pilot had to hitch a ride with us, so he was in one of those weird center aisle seat things. There was one row and then two rows, and just one section. Severe storms with a tornado. It wasn't a private jet, but it was close enough to it. Well, passengers, and I mean, I was in so much fucking agony. My body, just as it is, and my skin literally melting off. I told Colin when we were in Atlanta, I think it was. Maybe it was Dallas. I don't remember where we connected from Cancun. I told Colin, I said, for the rest of the flight home, I'm taking my Xanax. Make sure I don't get, raped or kidnapped or anything. Make sure I wake up when we get to Cincinnati. Only for, to feel the whole plane start shaking like crazy. And I'm like, what in the fuck's going on? This is one of the first times I've ever flown that I can remember. Well, passengers, we're going through a storm that's tornado activity. We're going to have to divert through South Carolina and blah, 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 blah. Then they mentioned something about if we have to land because of low fuel before we get to Cincinnati, Fucking A. I'm like, well, I doubt with this storm, even though I'm allowed to. So I tried to text Nanette. I'm like, we're being diverted, through 5 other states because of this crazy storm. Don't rush to get to the airport. Mexico was interesting. They tell people, don't venture outside of the resorts or whatever, especially if you're a minority or you're gay. Who the hell cares? We're going to die sometime. I want to see what real life is down here. We never were threatened, to my knowledge, and I can understand Spanish pretty well. They were awfully sexual, but it's like a few choice Spanish words that aren't too overly offensive, yet they're like, uh-huh. One strange dude, we had fish tacos with him. I can understand French and Spanish a lot more than I can speak it, but it's difficult, especially after having a stroke. Especially Spanish with their her, the R's, I can't do it anymore. And how the French, it's kind of nasally because how the tongue moves, I can't do it anymore. Parlez-vous français? That should come out a lot smoother. It's not because of my Kentucky hickness. It's just because I can't make my tongue move smoothly and quickly enough. Comment allez-vous? Bonjour. The Asian languages were always the hardest for me to learn. The handwriting is, difficult enough, how beautiful it is. But they have so many different dialects, just kind of like India. The dialects between the regions, like with Spanish, Spanish in Mexico is a hell of a lot different than Spanish in Portugal. Did they just say what I think they said? Just like I'm sure my Aunt Debbie. When did you learn to start signing? Charles Bud Lucas, as we call him. Twat Waffle. I'm sure Debbie could agree. I have time to spend for criminal mischief in the third degree. First of all, you people need to get the side of the story straight that matters. Cops coming into our home, causing that property damage due to me talking about your all's raping and drug dealing bullshit, and then basically forcing me to cause, yeah, I did it. Yeah. So as I asked, whose body, describing it naked, should I start with? So like I said, when I burst both my temporal arteries because it was quite clear no one gave a damn, oh well. It wasn't a suicide attempt, it was a fuck them. I'm not taking any more of this psychotropic poison. This stuff is bad enough. The dry mouth that it causes, ugh. But it's the only thing that works without making me want to fucking kill myself. Maybe someone someday will witness all these videos and think, what the fuck? So my apologies, truly, for anyone who may have been offended or harmed mentally by my alcoholism. As I said, my work at that time took me to a very dark place. Not to mention people were using my shit to post their own stuff because, I was being threatened. I think I mentioned that more than once. Not to mention, between the antipsychotics, the antidepressants, and having to self-medicate with alcohol for chronic pain, the veterans serving, or who have served our country, deserve the right to sue for medical malpractice, for starters. They deserve the right to use cannabis as a possible treatment, starting them off in a secure facility to make sure they don't have a psychotic break from it, because guess what? It does happen. Just like it happens with alcohol, opiates, nicotine, etc. And these states need to follow California's suit, setting aside pro bono money for legal to help the gay, lesbian, and transgender service members kicked off the VA system just for something that ignorant regain their benefits. That should be automatic in my opinion, but apparently it's not. Why in the hell wouldn't the goddamn government reinstate them and just go ahead and mail them their TRICARE card or whatever it is? How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? That's just like the last time. I'm like, you know what? I feel guilty enough for even being alive, let alone living off of you and you telling me to do or buy or use money. It's not my money. So you be sure and keep messaging Mom and Shell at a non-harassing level and tell their sick, sorry fucking asses my wishes. They always got their goddamn way, from gymnastics to band to shop to daddy's little girl, and me getting beat up over him having a fucking taking care of business moment on her band jacket. Not to mention all the shit that her and my mother put me through, sexually, psychologically, and physically. But, Shell was allowed to work for them. She started out cleaning for Debbie, too, doing yard work and cleaning. But because, she played right into the video voyeurism, child porn, and her and Jay Henderson would sneak down to the basement when I'd be naked in that tanning bed and review the footage. They might as well have been, they were Donald's accomplices in it. But then, because they kept their mouths shut, oh, sure, Shell, you can come work down here, especially during tax time. You get paid doing it.